What if the grocery store suddenly went silent? No aisles of brightly packaged food, no quick deliveries. Just the wild world around you. Maybe you're here because the food system feels a bit shaky. Or maybe you just want to know what the land can give you if you know where to look. Welcome to Edible America. Today we dive into the subtropical paradise of Florida, a land of swamps, beaches, and endless greens. It's not just sunshine and Mickey Mouse. Beneath those palm fronds lies a bounty of wild edible plants that have fed people for centuries. Let's explore 10 wild edible plants you can find right here in Florida. The sea grape is one of Florida's signature coastal plants, thriving along beaches and dunes. Its thick, leathery leaves shade the sandy shores, but it's the fruit that steals the show. Clusters of round grape-like fruits start off green, then slowly ripen to a deep purple. These berries taste sweet and tangy like a wild grape or a plum, with a hint of tropical sunshine. Locals snack on them fresh or simmer them down into rich jams or jellies, perfect to spread on toast or swirl into yogurt. Beyond the fruit, the large leaves were naturally used as natural wrapping for cooking fish or rice, steaming flavors into the food while keeping things eco-friendly. Saw palmetto is a spiky, low-growing palm that carpets much of Florida's scrublands and pine forest. Its small, dark berries aren't just food, they've long been prized for medical uses, especially in supporting men's prostate health. The berries have a smoky, slightly sweet flavor that deepens when roasted or dried. While they're not the sugary kind of berry you snack on like candy, they're rich in nutrients and compounds that indigenous peoples and herbalists have relied on for generations. You can eat them raw in a pinch, but they're most often dried or made into teas and tinctures. In tough times, these berries are a reliable sustaining resource. Blackberries grow wild across Florida's forest edges, thickets, and abandoned fields. These wild varieties tend to be smaller and a bit more tart than the cultivated berries you find at the market, but their flavor is bold and full of depth. Punctuated by tiny seeds that add a pleasant crunch, Florida blackberries are packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, nature's little power snacks. You can eat them fresh, toss them into a salad, or cook them down into pies, jams, and syrups that taste like summer sunshine bottled up. Look for these berries in late spring through summer when they're at their peak. In the wetlands, marshes, and shallow ponds of Florida grows the duck potato, a water-loving plant with a distinctive arrowhead-shaped leaves and delicate white flowers. Beneath the water surface, it stores edible tubers, thick, starchy potatoes that Native Americans harvested as a reliable food source. The tubers have a slightly nutty, mild flavor and can be roasted, boiled, or even dried for later use. If you're near water, this plant is a survival treasure, providing a root vegetable that's both filling and nutritious, a perfect substitute if conventional crops fail. Just watch out for gators and cottonmouths. The Maypop vine is an enchanting sight, with its intricate purple and white flowers blooming along fences, forest edges, and sunny patches. Underneath the flower growth, the Maypop fruit, round, yellow-green, and bursting with tart tropical flavor. When ripe, the pulp is juicy and fragrant, perfect for eating fresh or turning into jams, jellies, or beverages. The crunchy seeds add texture and nutrition, making the fruit a little package of flavor and energy. Maypop leaves also have calming properties. Brewed as tea, they've been used for centuries to soothe nerves and promote restful sleep. So this plant offers both food and medicine, a true wild gift. The Chickasaw Plum is a small scraggly tree or shrub that thrives in Florida's dry forest and thickets. In summer, it produces small plums with a tart, sweet flavor that's perfect for fresh eating or turning into preserves, sauces, or jellies. These plums are rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, making them a nourishing addition to any wild food pantry. Historically, Chickasaw plums were an important seasonal food for indigenous communities and early settlers alike. If you stumble across one of these shrubs, pick the right fruit carefully. The flavor is surprisingly delicious and a true taste of wild Florida. Though often associated with the Midwest, the pawpaw is native to parts of Florida's moist, shaded woodlands too. The fruit looks unassuming on the outside, greenish yellow and a bit banana-shaped, but inside is a tropical surprise. The soft custard-like flesh tastes like a mix of banana, mango, and melon, creamy, sweet, and utterly unique. The pawpaw season is short, usually late summer to early fall, so if you find one, grab it while you can. The fruit can be eaten fresh or made into smoothies, ice cream, and baked goods. A forgotten treasure of the Southeast. Cattails are everywhere in Florida's marshes and wetlands, and they're often called the supermarket of the swamp for good reason. And it's not because they look like wild corn dogs. Almost every part of the cattail plant is edible. The young shoots, when peeled, are crunchy, sweet, and can be eaten raw or cooked like asparagus. The pollen is a fine yellow powder that can be collected and used as a flour substitute. Even the roots contain starch that can be processed into survival food. Learning to harvest cattails safely and sustainably can provide you with a reliable year-round food source if you find yourself living off the land. Wild garlic, also known as ramps, are among the first wild greens to pop up in Florida's shady woodlands each spring. With broad green leaves and small bulbs, ramps pack a punchy flavor somewhere between garlic and onion, perfect for brightening up soups, sautés, or homemade pestos. Not only delicious, ramps are also rich in vitamins and minerals. If you're foraging in early spring, these greens are a sign that new food is on the way. YouTube notifications. Yeah, not so great. If you actually want updates, recipes, and wild food tips, head over to my Substack. It's free, it's real, and it's where the good stuff lives. Want to help the revolution grow? Toss a few coins my way on coffee. Links below. The Sabal palm, or cabbage palm, is Florida's state tree and a living symbol of the state's natural heritage. Inside the sturdy trunk lies the heart, a tender pale core that tastes mild and slightly nutty, reminiscent of artichoke hearts. It has long been a survival food for people living in Florida's wilderness. Harvesting the palm heart is labor-intensive and should be done with care and respect, since it can kill the tree. Traditionally, it was eaten steamed, boiled, or roasted, and is considered a delicacy with deep cultural and historical roots. Florida is a land of water, warmth, and wildness, where ancient plants still feed and heal if you know where to look. If the shelves empty, if the trucks stop rolling, we can still eat, because the earth remembers. We just have to listen. If this episode helps you, hit subscribe and share your own Florida foraging stories below. What's your favorite wild Florida plant? Any secret recipes or tips? Let's keep the knowledge alive together. Until next time, keep your feet wet and your spirit wild.